each week for your chance to win tickets to see your Minnesota Wild in an upcoming game. Wild Wednesdays are presented by Jim Beam, a crowd pleaser since 1795.
13:14 past. I'm Common. He's 10 to be excited and delighted to be joined by the legendary Mark Rosen.
Good afternoon.
I was thinking of you earlier today as it was snowing. I was thinking, I bet Mark Rosen was the last person that wanted it to stop snowing, because if it would continue to snow, you could have called in and said, can't make it in today. I'm just going to have to go by phone.
You're thinking of the old days, the old Edit Bay days at WCCO when I would be stuck upstairs and not wanting to go back downtown. I don't mind driving and stuff. I mean, I got behind a snowplow today and it was a little slow going, but I really don't mind driving in it. I mean, there's just other people. I mean, you always see them. I mean, on the road. Literally, either don't have a snow brush in their car, a scraper,
right,
and they go venturing on a highway, and I don't know how they can see anything. I mean, their driver's side window covered up, their back window covered up, the front window. This one guy had both his blinkers on and was frosted up. I got out of his way as fast as I possibly could. I mean, I'm thinking, what are you thinking? Going on the road like this, use a glove, use something to clean your car off. And I don't. It's like with the first big snowfall of the year, people just forget any habits they had, or else the guy just wasn't. And it was a man. I could see that much through the frosted window.
The mistake I made is I did not even check the weather forecast, and so yesterday, as I was getting gas, I said, my car needs a good washing. I'll do it now.
Yeah, that's always a good time.
Oh, I was smart. Wash the car. Next day, I look out. There's 4 feet of snow on the ground, and now my car needs to be washing. Because I don't. When I'm not golfing, it doesn't matter to me.
The game is played outside.
Tuesday,
yes, sir.
It was the Ben Johnson show. I had an extra hour to go. Then I had a doctor's appointment.
Yeah.
Over in St. Louis Park, over at Park Nicollet. Mm-hmm. It was in and out real quick, so I had some time to kill. So I needed a new pair of shoes, so I went to Schuler Shoes over there.
I know it very well.
Right on Excelsior, and got some shoes there. Had to send pictures of the ones I picked because I wanted to make sure they were drippy. Because if I bring them back, Baby Brother Peter's, he's got the fashion sense in the family. Boy. So it's like...
I don't know if they have drippy shoes at Schuler.
They do.
I haven't been there for a while.
Yeah, no. They got all the brands.
Good
they
for
got
them.
lots of drippy shoes.
Okay.
So, and then I had... I wrote a book. Did I tell either one of you that I wrote a book?
No.
It's a great holiday gift giving idea.
I wrote the cover. I wrote the forward to it.
Yes, you did, indeed. I haven't even built. This is the tenable. Normally, I promote the book every chance I get. I haven't talked about it. I mean, I'm almost out of books, but I have had people that know of it. And so the Christmas time, there's a bit of a mini rush where people want to write. So I had 5 books to mail out, and they were already packaged, and I was going to drop them off. So I hit my GPS.
This is after Schuler Shoes?
Yes, after Schuler Shoes.
The connection here.
And at Schuler Shoes, and then it was it showed me where the closest post office is. As I go into the post office, mail the books, get back out, I look across the street and I see, and I've never seen it before. I know it exists. Pavek Museum. There it is. The Pavek is right there.
You're right there by the post office in St. Louis Park.
So now I go, I got to go over there.
Seriously?
So I drive over to the Pavek. I get out and there's a sign that says, closed today for a private function. And I'm looking in the window, and all of a sudden a young lady comes out of it looks like there's some conference room to the left when you first walk in the main doors. She comes out and she goes, can I help you? We're closed today. I said, I'm supposed to be in here.
Oh, my God.
And she had no idea what I meant by that.
Right.
I think she thought maybe I was part of this meeting.
Part of the party.
No.
The meeting.
I'm supposed to be in here. And she said, well, I'm sorry. I said, can I just please come in and take a peek? And she said, okay, I guess that's okay. So she lets me in the front door. And I walk into the main lobby. And I see Tesla there. And I see Thomas Edison and electrical stuff. And all of a sudden, I go, where's the Hall of Fame? She goes, I said, where are the plaques? She goes, oh, that's back there in the Hall of Fame.
Right.
And I said, that's where I'm supposed to be. And she looked at me really odd. And
You're not making this up?
No. And then some guy came out of there and said, so can I help you? So I'm thinking he thinks I'm nuts, which I am. But I mean, he's probably thinking this guy's certifiably insane, and he's coming here to the Pavek for some reason.
Yep.
And so he was going to be there as the muscle. And I said, no, I'm supposed to be here, and I just want to look. I'll come back another time. And I left. So not only have I not been...
What a story.
nominated to be inducted into the Pavek. They won't even let me come in and look around.
Oh, my God.
Think about it.
That's sad.
You're there. Lee Valsvik's there. Dan Barrero's there.
Yeah.
Who knows who else is there?
Dave
Everybody.
Ryan.
Yeah, no, Dave Ryan's not there.
Well, he's not there? Oh, I thought he would. With all the awards he's won?
Let me guess. You win a Marconi, or was it 2 of them he's won? No,
Yeah.
I don't think he should be there.
Yeah, that hasn't qualified
Tom
enough.
Bernard, I believe, is in there.
Yeah, I'm sure he is.
A lot of legendary people in there. Ralph John Fritz is in there.
Yeah,
Let me guess. Majors and Pat Miles and everybody else. They wouldn't even let me go in and walk around.
Look around. Well, private party.
I guess.
It's not a very, it's not like going to Cooperstown or something. It's, it's just a building.
It is just a building, yeah.
And it houses some of the greats, yeah. Oh. And it's actually really interesting. I mean, for people beyond the Hall of Fame part of it, it's the history, and you're right. Basically, Thomas Edison, first light bulb or something.
Yeah.
It's a lot of school kids take tours there. Yeah,
yeah. One of these days.
Well, I'll be happy to give you a tour sometime.
I'd like to go there with you sometime.
I'll walk in with those hallowed halls.
We can take a look at your plaque.
Yeah, I haven't looked at it since I got in there.
Yeah. I don't know if it's a Grimm's fairy tale or Aesop fable, or if it's just Larry Hagman and Barbara Eden. But remember the genie? You find the lamp on the shores of the Dead Sea, and you rub it, and a genie pops up.
Right.
And she says, "Master, I grant you 3 wishes. My first wish would be for 3 more wishes.
I'm sure you've said that.
Then my next wish would be that it was January 3rd, 6:30 p.m. for the Duke Mayo Bowl. I'm excited about the Duke Mayo. Wouldn't you give away 4 or 5 days of a week of your life just to get to the Duke Mayo Bowl? Over a month, over a week. No? It's a big one.
I heard PJ talking about it on these very airwaves, thinking I was going to hear you the other day. Instead, PJ was on, which was nice, and I got a chance to hear him. But I mean, the uncertainty about his own team, who's gonna be there. Some guys opt out, transfer portal, whatever it might be. He says, to say nothing of preparing for an opponent I know a little bit about, but not knowing anything to do what their roster is going to look like, and that's what a lot of these other bowl games are faced with. Because unless you're in the playoffs, which we all know is expanded and starts Friday night, particularly with one game that I think a lot of folks are interested in, Indiana at Notre Dame. This is, I think, the first Friday night game ever played at Notre Dame. I mean, a Friday night game, yeah. And I mean, it's a clash. I mean, it's a pairing you just don't really ever see. Indiana, I mean, a basketball school,
right, having
a great college football season, playing at Notre Dame. My goodness, that's as good as it gets. But anyway, those are the games where pretty much everyone's locked in from a team standpoint. They're not going to opt out of a playoff game. And, the NFL is jumping in on college football's crowded landscape on Saturday with a couple of games.
3, I think.
Yeah, I think it's crazy.
I think it's the first time we've done 3 Saturday games. I thought I read.
They've done a third one?
They've done 2 Saturday games. At this time, they're doing 3 Saturday games.
Plus the college football games. So, it's literally a smorgasbord of.
How many college football games to start? Are they all this weekend then? They would be, right?
Yeah. They started last.
There's 12 teams and 4 buys.
Playoff? Yeah, the playoffs Friday night.
The playoffs Friday night. But are all the games Friday or some Saturday?
Saturday, too.
I suppose they're probably split, right?
The other ones, yeah, they split them up.
Who do you like? Hard to bet against Oregon or not necessarily?
It's hard to bet against them.
They got kind of a tough bracket, though, right? I mean, it's possible they could meet the Ohio State University in their first game, right? If Ohio State gets through their first one,
I think it's. I haven't looked at the pairings
I think that's what I saw.
But I don't think there's any clear cut. Oregon's the favorite, but there's not a clear cut favorite. I mean, and that's the beauty of this 12-team playoff right now. I mean, you don't know how it's going to end up. There's not necessarily a powerhouse team. Oregon can give up a lot of points, as we saw against Penn State.
Well, they only beat the Ohio State by 1.
Right. So, no,
and Wisconsin gave them everything they wanted.
Mm-hmm. So I would say it's any shoe-in at all for any of these games. But it should be pretty exciting.
And the Gophers' opponent, West Virginia, right? Do we know anything about?
Is it Virginia? Isn't it Virginia Tech?
I thought it was West Virginia. Is it Virginia Tech? I thought it was West Virginia. Maybe it was Virginia Commonwealth.
Something like that.
Do you know by any chance who the Gophers is? Is it? I thought it was West Virginia. I thought.
I thought Virginia Tech was right.
Yeah,
Maybe Virginia Tech.
I think it is. Well, I mean, I heard PJ talking the other day. I mean, they know that they're okay.
Yeah, Duke's Mayo Bowl Friday, January 3rd against Virginia Tech.
Yeah, the Gophers have had
Tech.
And PJ's point was this should be all these bowl games. I understand his point. Should be celebrated. He understands it's not the playoffs. He understands that no one's going to really remember probably much about this game. But for his players and for him, so what? I mean, it's not his problem.
Fine, but I don't know if we have to celebrate them. You know what they really are? If you want the cynic?
Yeah, of course. That's what you are.
They're fillers for TV slots. That's all they have. They got 40. They got to fill slots for TV. And some of these games are on a Thursday at 1:30 in the afternoon. It's for ESPN. They've got to fill
time
slots, and so they just select it. And so it's you can call it a. I mean, are you really getting a reward for a 6-6 season? A lot of things. That's what you should get rewarded for that. It's just to fill slots. Is all it is. It's a money grab, and that's okay.
Money grab.
If the team is up for it,
fans want to go to Charlotte. In this case,
go get them. We'll have that game on this radio station. I'm assuming.
Right.
And so let's take a break and come back with more with the legendary Mark Rosen. Spread swing at 2:30 here on the Fan.
Head over to NFLShop.com for the largest collection of officially licensed gear from all your favorite brands. NFL Shop is your ultimate gifting destination for jerseys, t-shirts, headwear, and more. Take your game day style to the next level with the best selection of NFL gear anywhere. Show off your team pride this holiday season with styles fit for the whole family. To shop now, go to NFLShop.com.
Fan. Mark Rosen's appearance on the program is brought to you by your Greater Twin City Honda dealers. Megadeth. Join Corey Cove on Monday, December 23rd at Cowboy Jackson Bloomington from 7 to 9 for Coors Light Hockey Night. Watch Minnesota play Chicago and play trivia for your chance to win a pair of sweet tickets to the hockey game on January 9th. Get the full details now at KFAN.com. Keyword calendar.
Tennessee, let's play word association.
Okay.
I'm gonna give a word to you, and I want you to tell me the first word that pops into your head. Program.
Password.
Accuracy. Remember the bit? I'm all about accuracy. I was wrong. There are only 2 NFL games this Saturday. It's next Saturday, in which there are 3.
They get the 3?
They are going to have 3. Next Saturday, they are Chargers at Patriots, Bungles hosting the Broncos, Cardinals at Rams.
Mm-hmm.
None of those games interest me.
The Christmas games feel weird on a Wednesday this year.
That's
they are having Wednesday games, aren't they?
Talk about short
Netflix.
week.
That's the Netflix stuff. I don't know what that is.
Chiefs, Steelers, Ravens versus Texans. There's actually a Thursday night then too. Obviously, Seahawks, Bears.
Right, all Netflix, I believe.
And then the 3 Saturday games and a bunch of Sunday games. Bodega Cat returns tonight. You'll be there.
Yes, sir.
I think he'll receive a warm reception.
Standing ovation.
Certainly a warm reception, and maybe a standing ovation. You could be wrong.
I don't think there's any question about
standing
it.
Ovation?
Oh, absolutely.
Really?
He should get one. Yes, absolutely.
I'll say partial standing ovation. Half the people will stand.
Well, I'm not going to do a head count, but I think it's going to be a pretty rousing.
You're going to have the best seats for a head count. You're probably a courtside would be my guess.
It's possible.
Yeah. Isn't that funny? Do you think Bodega Cat and the Knickerbockers walk out victorious, or do you think
they're good enough. Of course, they could walk out with a victory. I think the Wolves' defense has been vastly improved in the last week. I know they'll be emotionally up for it. I mean, it's going to be a lot of friendly trash talking with, in particular, with Ant. And you think about the legacy of Cat, and kind of going down the hierarchy. Learning from Kevin Garnett, and he mentioned it during his news conference today, and mentioned Flip's name a couple times, the late great Flip Saunders, and you forget how long Cat was here, and he was here for that time, and all the way through mentoring at the beginning of his career, Anthony Edwards, and his closeness, and he talks so fondly about the Twin City area, and not just financially being rewarded here, but just his involvement with the community and the people, and there's not a bone in his body that's regret. That has any regrets about his time here. He went through a lot of, and survived a lot of the verbal slings and arrows of the franchise, and him being the face of it and having a lot of other issues. And, he lost a lot of family members here because of COVID. And there was a lot of stuff that's going on with Cat. So, no, I think it's a celebration of his career up to where it's at right now. And I think pretty much everybody, especially since the Knicks are in the East, are wishing him and the Knicks well. And I think it'll be, I don't know 100%, but I would assume they'd have some sort of a video tribute for him tonight. It's not like Kirk Cousins returning, where it's just, it was polarizing. He was polarizing when he was here, and Cat was at many, many years as well. But I think it's a different situation. Obviously, Cat got traded. But yeah, I think it'll be a fun night.
Cat leads the NBA in rebounds at 13.9 or 8 or something like that. Does that surprise you at all, the rebounding?
Well, I don't know. You don't think of him as being an inside type player to be in the mix with, fighting Rudy Gobert for rebounds or any of some of the other big guys.
But he's been moved back to center, of course, with the Knickerbockers.
But he still takes more than his share of three-pointers.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not just about him, too, because I think, Randall's going to want to put on a good show, and even Chenzo's going to want to put on when he gets out there. Mm-hmm. So it's not just about that. And Tibbs is returning. So it's the one time, the Eastern teams don't play here. Mr. Tibbs, yeah. So, I mean, it's a late start, unfortunately. It's supposed to start at 8:30, probably more like 8:45, but much the way that the Wild game started so late last night. But, it's kind of that holiday feel to it, and it'll be sold out, and it should be rather festive for another regular season game, as they say.
Vikings travel to Seattle. They have a Seahawks team where again, you have, we talk about this, you have hundreds of websites and dedicated to sports and this and that, and everybody's making prognostications and predictions.
Right.
This has been one of those games that some of these guys, I'm not saying that Seattle can't win, but I think it's become kind of fashionable for some guys to go, Seattle's going to spring the upset here. And they could. I don't. If they're quarterback that's injured, if Geno Smith doesn't play, I don't know.
He's going to play.
Yeah, but I mean, if he didn't, I don't think Seattle would have much of a chance. But they also they're struggling through injuries. They have 10 guys that are on the old IR, whatever, or won't play in the game. And, they're desperate and they need a win and that. But I predicted blowouts for the Vikings the last two games, and that's exactly what they did in both those games. And I think this is going to be another one of those games where it'll be close early, like both the Falcons and Bears games. They were ball games through the first half and even into the second half a little bit. Then the Vikings pulled away. I think the same thing's going to happen here. I think it'll be a ball game early, but I think by the time we get into that fourth quarter, the Vikings are going to have another comfortable win.
Yeah, I think you have to ignore what is your favorite cliche you like to throw cold water on. That's the fact that the Vikings haven't won in Seattle for a long time.
Yep.
These guys don't care.
No.
And I think Geno Smith is just okay on the offense. This isn't a great Seattle team. It's a very competitive team. And they can, they have the 12th man. We know that whole thing and how loud it can get in there. Well, the Packers didn't have any trouble with it last week. Mm-hmm. They went in there and ran roughshod over Seattle. So I look for the Vikings to be able to kind of do what they want. It's still going to be, we know, it's just our history. It's not going to be easy. It rarely is for the Vikings. Even the Atlanta game was 21-all going in the fourth quarter. But the good news is the Vikings have learned how to win and close out games. And that's what you have to do, come playoff time, because, that's what you want to see from your best team. I was reading that stat the other day about the 2009 Brett Favre-led team, the collapses they had against Carolina and the Bears late in the season when they had the so-called schism going on, and the Vikings had to kind of rally to get themselves back. But because of those two losses, they cost them home field advantage in the NFC Championship game, and New Orleans got that. So that's why the added importance isn't just the fact of playing Seattle, is the fact that they have this wonderful opportunity that was now laid at their feet because of the Lions loss. Even Philadelphia, as well as they're playing, that the Vikings can get that number one overall seed by winning their last three games. So it's far-fetched that it can happen. I mean, it certainly can. And it's an exciting time for everyone associated with the Vikings. They're locked in over there. I mean, they just really are, as an organization, as a team, the coaching staff, everybody is feeling it, that they have this opportunity that they've been talking about since we were out there training camp And it's presented to them in unexpected fashion right now.
Vikings play at 3:05. 2 games of interest to Viking fans will be played at noon. Lions at Bears and the Eagles at Commanders. Of the Eagles games that remain, I think that's their toughest because
I agree.
Dallas and the Giants?
Yeah, I think you're right.
And I don't think they're going to have much trouble there.
No.
The Commanders obviously still in the mix.
Mm-hmm.
And at home, that presents a challenge.
Sure.
I think most people disagree with me and think the Lions will still beat this Bears club even with all the injuries. I'm not so sure of that. And then the final game of the weekend will be the Monday nighter. Green Bay will be hosting the Saints. And the Saints have had their ups and downs. They started 2-0, and now I think they're 5-9. So they've been 3-9 their last 12 games.
I hate to disappoint NFL fans out there unless you have the NFL ticket, but I don't believe the Detroit-Chicago game, even though it's a noon game, will be televised in this market because it's a Fox game. And the only Fox game
You've got to be kidding me.
Going to be carried is the Vikings-Seattle game. So CBS will have the early game. As they say, check your local listings, but I don't believe the Detroit-Chicago game will be broadcast in the Twin City area, which is too bad because I know a lot of folks would like to see that.
Yeah, be interesting.
Yeah, of course.
Let's do this. Let's take a break. We'll come back. Deuce will join us, and we'll do a little.
Right.
We'll do some spread swing. That's
good.
next, right here on the Fan.
Head over to NFLShop.com for the largest collection of officially licensed gear from all your favorite brands. NFL Shop is your ultimate gifting destination for jerseys, t-shirts, headwear, and more. Take your game day style to the next level with the best selection of NFL gear anywhere. Show off your team pride this holiday season with styles fit for the whole family. To shop now, go to NFLShop.com.
The Fan.
Join the Power Trips Corey Cove at Treasure Island this Saturday for a wild watch party. Stop by Parlay at 5 p.m. to enter for your chance to win great prizes. Then stick around for the puck drop between the Wild and the Jets at 6 p.m. Get the full details now at KFAN.com. Keyword calendar.
Couple 13-14 pass Common Man program. I'm Common. He's Tennessee. He's the legendary Mark Rosen. What was he thinking going to Lincoln, my firstborn Deuce? And it's time now for Spread Swing.
Spread Swing.
Deuce, welcome. How are things in Lincoln?
Well, Dad, they've been better. It's final season, so I've basically just been studying nonstop, and I'd rather start my hair on fire than take my econometrics final tomorrow, but it'll be done soon.
Do you think you've chosen the wrong career path and you should have maybe become a laboratory test animal instead?
You know, it's funny. My buddies and I were just talking about how, like, I'm very all over the place in terms of, like, just I kind of got it from you, old man. Like, I'm very just goofy and silly, and I'm just kind of saying whatever comes to my mind. And my buddy said, you know, scientists would have loved to do experiments on me back in the day.
I mean, where do you stand as far as are your grades good, bad, indifferent? We didn't ever really talk much about it because I don't know much about school.
Well, I feel like it's best that we keep it that way because you don't exactly have a lot of collegiate experience, not any collegiate experience, and you have very little high school experience. But, you know, the grades are going all right.
Just come home with the diploma. That's all I cared about.
I have one A- that's locked in.
There you go.
It'd be hard for Common to be mad at you about your grades.
Yeah. And again, I'll probably do the old speech to you before. You don't have to be the top of your class. You know, get the degree and get through. It's all about street smarts, my boy. It's not who you know. No, it's who you know.
Get your degree, set yourself free.
Yeah, get your degree, set yourself free at American National University.
Right.
What do we do with Spread Swing after this week? We're all gone. There's Wednesday
Yeah, Rosen and I were just talking about that. Yeah, I don't know if we're going to be able to get it in next week unless
do we just text them to you and you tweet them out so we know there's no cheating and we
could. Well, we have to do it before Wednesday.
Yeah,
but we have to do it after Monday because there's a Monday night game.
Oh man,
that's right. It's gonna be tough. I'm
we can do it.
Tuesday.
What do you got a phone? You text.
I can text.
Otherwise, you have to forfeit.
No, we're gonna do that.
How about everyone
We
just
can make videos and put them up on the KFAN Instagram and Twitter. Get that digital.
Everyone send me your top 4 picks.
All right.
And then I will go based off of the order.
All right.
And we'll put them together, and it won't be a radio bit.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
because
Because we only got 2 weeks. Yeah, there's 3 weeks to go here.
And
it's close. It's tight.
close. It's
we
very
can't
close.
give it up now.
Matter of fact, let's take a look at those results. What's that, Deuce?
Close between three. I mean, I know that I'll have to, so the order won't be too hard for me.
I don't know how motivated Deuce is to get his picks in on Tuesday, but
All right, we'll do that. Sounds like
Let's play
Well,
spread. Let's play.
should we take a look at the standings?
Yeah.
So going into last week, it was tight. I was in the lead at 139. Rosen right behind me at 121.5. Just 1 point ahead of Common, who's been surging. He's at 120.5. And then Deuce is in last place at minus 35.5.
Oh, no.
And not surprising, of the 4 of us, Deuce did the worst last week.
Oh, man.
He had Seattle plus 2.5 against the Green Bay Packers. They lost by 17. So he lost 14.5 points there. He also had Jacksonville plus 3 against the Jets. The Jets won that game by 7, so he lost 4 points there.
My God. You're the first pick.
Deuce,
You know what? Can I just say this real quick? Maybe I'm starting to believe that you are taking your schoolwork more seriously, because you're certainly not spending much time on spread swing.
Deuce is now at minus 54.
Wow.
Common, unfortunately, your Kitties let you down. You had a minus 2.5. They lost at home to Buffalo by 6. So you lost 8.5 there. But you had the Rams plus 2.5 against San Francisco. They won by 6, and you doubled down.
Oh.
So you actually gained 17 points out of that one. Yeah. So on the week, you move up from 120.5 to 129.
Okay.
Rosen, a decent week for you. You had Minnesota minus 6.5. They won by 18 over the Chicago Bears. You gained 11.5 there. You also had Cincinnati minus 5 against Tennessee. Small win. They won by 5 points, or they won by 10. So you gained 5 points. So, but all of a sudden you move up to 138. Unfortunately for you, I kept pace with you as the leader. I had Denver minus 4 against Indianapolis, thanks to Jonathan Taylor dropping the ball at the 1 yard line too early before he crossed the end zone. I gained 14 points on that one because Denver won by 18. I also had Arizona minus 6 against the Patriots. They won by 13. I gained 7 on that one. So I'm up to 160.
Wow.
Rosen's at 138. Common's at 129.
Man, battle.
And Deuce is at minus 54.
This text just came in. This one says, Deuce should be happy with a forfeit for next week. 0 points might be a top 3 week for him.
Are we ready to play?
Let's play.
Let's go.
Spread swing.
You had a good week last week, Tim. You were smart. You took the games that were to be blowouts. I don't know what I was. I took that Ram.
Well, it was a good pick with the Rams.
Yeah, but I mean, there were some games that were 20-point blowouts where if I would have doubled down and grabbed those, I would have made all sorts of points. But that's all right.
Deuce, you lead us off.
Whatever teams I pick are just doomed to fail, it seems. And the definition of insanity is to keep doing the same thing over and over again and expect a different result. I always pick the games that I genuinely think will get me points, and that hasn't worked. So I'm going to go with the foolproof method of using a random spin the wheel generator.
Yes, I've done the same thing.
I'm going to spin it, and whatever team lands on, I will be picking them. I'm going to click the spin button. It's going right now. Drum roll, please. The Cincinnati Bengals. You know, I've always been a big Cincinnati Bengals.
Yes, you have. We've talked about them.
Always been a big Joe Burrow guy. They're minus 7.5 against Cleveland this week. Cleveland is one of the most miserable franchises in the NFL right now. They're a terrible team, terrible city, terrible fans. Everything about them's terrible. I like the Cincinnati Bengals minus 7.5. Not only do I like them, the wheel picked them for me, so that's what we're going with.
Perfect.
Beautiful.
You know, when Deuce makes his own picks, I never get worried about getting sniped. And now with the wheel, there's a 1 out of 16 chance I'm going to get sniped here. So
that's exactly right.
That was my third pick. I kind of got sniped a little bit.
Spread swing.
really wasn't prepared because I'm really not that excited about it.
Oh, there we go.
I guess I got to take them. I got to stick with the bit, right? A lot of injuries. Bears are really bad though, so the injuries probably even out. With all the Lion players that are out in substitutes that probably makes the two teams really equal as far as personnel, which means it should be a close game on the road in Chicago, tough guy town. I'm not real confident, but I'll take the Kitties.
Poor guy.
Spread swing.
Well, they haven't failed me yet this year, and I know it's a homer pick, but I'm not going to not shy away from the Vikings at this point. I have not lost picking them this year. They should have won by even more last Monday night. 3-point favorites, that's a given. I mean, it could be another one of those close games going in the fourth quarter, but I just like the way the incentive is there for them. I don't think it matters that they're playing on the road. And I like them at -3. If they were playing here, they'd probably be 6-point favorites, but they're only 3, so I'll take the Vikes and give the 3 and be happy about it. Yeah.
Spread swing.
I should have doubled down on the Lions.
Still got one more double down left. I still have 2 double downs left.
Saving them. Huh?
I'm going to go to that NFC East division collision.
Oh, boy.
Philadelphia's -3.5 at Washington. And, I really haven't been a believer in Philadelphia for a good chunk of the season, but they've won 10 in a row. Washington, even though they've won 2 in a row, have been against pretty bad teams. And before that, they were not trending in the right direction. Jaden Daniels just doesn't seem to have the same magic he had earlier in the season. And these two teams just met 4 weeks ago. And Philadelphia controlled that game, and just -3.5. I know they're on the road. Eagles' defense has been playing better, and now it appears as if Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown are back to being rekindled in their relationship. Uh-oh. Deuce is gone.
Hello?
Hopefully he'll know how to call back because he's got the next pick. But yeah, even though they've won 10 in a row, there was kind of some stuff off the field popping up last week, and I think Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown specifically were very angry and motivated by the discussion that has gone on with them. So even though they won 10 in a row, they still got the motivation. They're still playing for the number 1 seed. I'm going to take Philadelphia -3.5 at Washington. I need you to tap dance while I call Deuce.
Hit the sound effects. That'll be part of it.
Spread swing.
Someone just texted me Common is a fraud, and I'm not sure why.
You pick Detroit every week.
Yeah, well, I think, I'm doing it for the bid. I don't know if he means that because I've given up on the club. I think the injuries are all. I mean, what I should have done is, for the bid, I should have done totally reversed it and said, Dan Campbell's got him pumped up. I'm psyched about him as well. The roar's been restored and double down. That's what I should have done for the bid. That's what I should have done. And I wasn't thinking of the bid.
Right.
I wasn't thinking that way. We got Deuce back.
He should be back.
Yep.
There you are.
Yep, here we go.
Earlier we were singing this jingle of get your degree, set yourself free at National American University. Somebody sent some new lyrics and says, "Get your degree, move to Commons basement for free at Lincoln, Nebraska University."
I think he's got the right idea because I got my whole life to be employed. I might just take a few years, really.
Good idea.
Settle down.
I always love that one.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Getting into the professional world.
Sure.
What do you have for your pick now?
Spread swing.
Part of me is tempted to honestly go for the Bears just because the Lions' defense is so beat up. And you know how sometimes you use chairs to set up zones and stuff on defense in practice? I think the Lions' defense might have to resort to setting up chairs, especially in that secondary.
I love it.
There. As bad as that could be, I'm going to spin the wheel again.
Okay.
And see what I got. I took all the out, and we got, we got the Carolina Panthers.
Hey, that's not a bad pick.
Who are the Panthers playing? The Panthers are +5 at home against the Cardinals. That's not such a terrible pick.
No, they're playing better.
You couldn't do any worse or any better. So,
well, there's that. It couldn't get any worse than losing at like 20 points every week, or at best, I'll gain like 2 or 3. So we're going with the Carolina Panthers +5. Arizona's a solid team, but I think Bryce Young will have a great game. Or since I picked him, it's more likely that he'll throw 5 interceptions and get benched. But I'll take the Panthers.
Spread swing.
I have a habit of taking Thursday night games. I'm going to take one this evening. I know, the Chargers. They're all right. They're 8-6. They're playing Denver. They're battling for division supremacy. I just like what Denver's done over there, and this might be crazy, but it's only 2.5 points. So I'm not getting a lot of points here, but I get 2.5.
Might be the underdog, yeah.
Yeah, and I'll take those 2.5 points. I think playing, you think, well, LA's at home. I think that can benefit teams because you play in Los Angeles. It's warm. You feel good about where you're at. I don't think it hurts at Denver at all. I don't even think the Chargers really have a home field advantage, to be honest, because most Los Angeles fans really aren't hardcore about any of their teams. So I'm gonna take the Denver Broncos and the 2.5 points.
Spread swing.
Well, speaking of L.A. teams, I like the other one. Yes, they have to make that cross-country trip and play at 11 o'clock in the morning, their body clock time against the New York Jets, who finally won a game last week when Aaron Rodgers looked like a real quarterback for once. But the Rams are getting hot. They've won. They've covered their spread in their last 3 games. I just think they got a lot of incentive to win this game, and I just like I like what the Rams are all about right now, and they're playing for a playoff spot to potentially win that division. So they're only given 3 points playing in New York.
Are you going to double down?
No, I'll wait until last week for that. So I'm going to take I'll take the Rams and young Matthew Stafford to take care of business against the Jets.
Spread swing.
I'm very concerned that Deuce and I are thinking alike on this one, but I am going to take the opposite of that Chicago-Detroit matchup.
Wow.
Chicago's a tough guy town.
Ooh. Wow.
The Bears played the Lions pretty tough on Thanksgiving at Ford Field, as you've talked about ad nauseum for the last couple weeks, Common. Your team, specifically defensively, is decimated by injuries. You've got Detroit, an indoor team that's made for the speed and the turf.
Yep.
Now going to play an outdoor game where the high is going to be 33.
They'll probably bring the wrong cleats.
And they'll bring the wrong cleats. And if you're the Detroit Lions and you're going to a tough guy place like Chicago, who do you want to give the ball to?
The tough guy, David Montgomery.
Knuckles, but he's out of the lineup.
Yeah.
Now they got to go with their Cadillac, their race car.
Yeah.
In a weird environment in the cold, on the grass.
Sonic.
I think Detroit's offense might struggle a little bit in this game.
Can I change my pick? It's too late now. Dang.
I'm going to go with the Chicago Bears plus 6.5. It's risky because the Lions have beaten a lot of teams 40-10. But
what's interesting is some people remind us that you and I just made a bet for $5.41 on those opposites. You have Detroit, I have Chicago, right?
On what?
We made a bet on Chicago Detroit for $5.41.
Did we?
Yeah.
Did?
And we're both taking the other sides this time.
All right.
Well, sometimes you can't make up your mind.
No, I understand.
Very good. Spread swing in the books.
That's it for spread swing.
That's it in the books. Now, Deuce, when do you got another test tomorrow, and are you coming back on the Yellow Brick Road from Lincoln to Minneapolis on Friday, or are you waiting until Saturday?
I'm probably going to head up on Saturday, and who knows, I might even, after the test, I might ask my teacher if I can do a little extra credit project. I'm trying to create some sort of program that allows me to get more than 3 points a week in spread swing.
Right.
I'm trying to make something that sort of, puts in the odds and analyzes the team's rosters.
Yeah.
I think I told her about my picks and where I was at, my professor, and she told me that I'm beyond any help of any sort of program. She gave me 2 pieces of advice. She told me to take 2 weeks off and quit.
Yeah, well, yep.
but I'll be home on sometime Saturday evening, I believe, is when I'll be home.
Well, try to get home a little early because your mother made a reservation for the four of us to go out to dinner, for my birthday.
Oh, be nice.
Right,
Bruce.
yeah.
Like you to be there.
Free meal.
I'll be there on time. I wouldn't miss it for the world of time. A happy early birthday.
Thanks, my boy. I appreciate that. Please do well on your test and have safe travels. We'll see you when you get back.
Stay well,
Sounds good.
Deuce.
I love you, Pops.
Yeah,
I'll see you.
love you
Thanks,
too.
guys.
See ya. That's Pop.
Can I
That's,
do quick breaking news?
Yeah.
This comes from Jeff Passan. He just did a story, MLB free agency trade intel.
Oh, boy.
Regarding the Twins.
Oh, my gosh.
He said some of the biggest names bandied about come with complications. Three-time All-Star Luis Castillo, blah, blah, blah. Same with Carlos Correa, over $128 million over the last 4 years of his deal with Minnesota. The Twins have listened on right-hander Pablo Lopez, and if free agent pitching prices remain stratospheric, perhaps they'll go beyond the listening stage.
Yeah.
Well,
Just shut her down if you're going to trade Pablo Lopez.
They've never had any intentions of competing before. Are they start now when they're going to sell the club? So wouldn't surprise me at all. They'll sell a few less tickets, I would think, if they do that. But I don't think they're worried about that anymore at this point. You're not back till January 2nd.
Well, I don't know. We're not going to talk to each other for a while.
No.
You're gone.
I'm on Monday, but then I'm gone to January 2nd, and tend to be after tomorrow. You're gone until January 2nd, right?
Well, happy
send me your spread swing pick.
Yeah, I will.
on Tuesday.
Happy holidays to the both of you.
Correct.
Well, I'll see Tana tomorrow. Tana and I are back tomorrow, but we'll see you then in a couple of weeks or after that.
Enjoy it. Stay safe, everybody, and enjoy your family and friends.
You too, the legendary one. Tana, thanks for having me.
Hey, great job tomorrow for Password, Lavelli Neal, Pat Micheletti, and Zach Halverson.
Oh, yeah. Star-studded cast. Should be great. We'll talk to you tomorrow at 12 noon. Big Ticket and JGR next on The Fan.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good night, Minnesota!
And good night, folks. And good night, Mrs. Calabash. Wherever you are.
Later.
Listen back to any of Common Man's programs by podcasting on the iHeartRadio app or KFAN.com.
You wake up, put on your Ray-Ban Meta glasses. You're living all in. You realize you need coffee. So you say,
"Hey, Meta, how do I make a latte?"
Brew 2 shots of espresso.
After Meta AI gets you caffeinated, you're ready for some beats.
Hey, Meta, play hip-hop music.
You head to meet some friends, but can't remember the place.
Hey, Meta, call Eva.
Ray-Ban Meta glasses, the next generation of AI glasses. Just say, hey, Meta, to harness the power of Meta AI. Shop now at meta.com/smartglasses.